Spaceball. Last night I had a funny dream. My brain's a mysterious place. I dreamed about some aliens who lived in outer space. I watched them play a game that seemed a lot like baseball. They played with bats and floppy hats, but the aliens called it Spaceball. Jupiter was the pitcher's mound, Saturn was the third base, and the little alien kid at bat had serious look on his face. Full count bottom of the ninth, I heard that the announcer say, "This batter's trying to get the ball clean out of the Milky Way." Then I saw the ball was planet Earth. Oh, how it could possibly be. If he hits that ball, it's the end of us all. That means the end of me. I heard a shout, "Strike three, you're out," and space was filled with cheers. But the little alien batter's eyes filled up with alien ears. My dreams are strange, but last night's dream was the strangest dream of all. Earth was saved by an alien who couldn't hit the ball. Monster Me. Lordy Lord, my soul's at home. It's monster trucks at Cajun Dome. In my seat, I wiggle and wait. I fix my stare on the starting gate. And there it is, roaring fire with tightened wires, my heart's desire. Here comes Bigfoot, clap your hands, he's crushing cars like soda cans. Bigfoot, Bigfoot, just like me, boss of the world and born to be free. Lordy Lord, my soul's at home. It's monster trucks at the Cajun Dome. The Princess and the Dragon. Once upon a time, in a far-off distant place, there lived a lovely princess with a pretty princess face. She loved a handsome prince. She had loved him all her life. And deep inside, she always knew that someday she'd be his wife. Their world was a picture perfect until that awful day, a dragon swooped down from the sky and carried her away. But this princess was no wimp. She drove her Maserati. She was a champion wrestler. She had a black belt in karate. So when the dragon growled at her, the princess knocked him flat, and that fire-breathing dragon turned into a pussy cat. She jogged back to the castle, got home in time for lunch, and the prince was glad his princess bride could really pack a punch. Choices. Daddy agrees I need a pet, and Mom, you know it's true. So I made this little list, but the choice is up to you. An elephant, a whale, a tiger with a tail, an eagle to soar in the air. A horse, a donkey, a gorilla, a monkey, a camel, a boar, or bear. Or a cuddly little kitten. I'll like whatever you do. Now you have to have my list, but the choice is up to you. Dinosaur canary. I read it in a magazine, it's the very latest word. I think the giant dinosaur was a prehistoric bird. Now I love my little canary, my tiny feathered friend. But what if I gave it too much food? Would it get real big again? And then, what would it eat? The problem's plain to see. A dinosaur canary might decide to chomp on me. The scratch. I was running and I fell and I hurt my knee. I got a bad scratch and I want you to see. What's that? You can't find it? But it's got to be there. It hurts me so bad. Please search everywhere. If you don't ever find it, I think what I'll miss. No place for a Band-Aid, no need for a kiss. A letter to the Tooth Fairy. Dear Tooth Fairy, I look under my pillow, and what do I see? My tooth on my bed, looking at me. When a kid loses a tooth, the Tooth Fairy pays, but my tooth has been waiting for 3 whole days. Now listen, Tooth Fairy, this is not very funny. Come get this tooth and leave me some money. Sincerely, me. Swamp, stomp, rock and roll. I have heard a lot of things. I'm almost 8 years old. But the coolest thing I ever heard was swamp, stomp, rock and roll. The summer sun had almost set when we began to walk. Grandpa said to listen, so I tried hard not to talk. Where the river meets the swamp, Grandpa sat me on a stump. Big trees like ghosts stood all around, and my heart began to thump. First I heard a cricket, then there was a pair, then 1,000 more joined in, and chirping filled the air. The summer night was turning cool, with fog as thick as smoke. An old screech owl began to hoot, and frogs began to croak. The night was full of fireflies flashing blue and green. It was the greatest light show human eyes have ever seen. Gators groaned, muskrats squealed, fish began to flop. My toe, it started tapping, and I couldn't make it stop. My booty started bouncing, and my foot began to stomp. And how my body loves to boogie to the music of the swamp. Burning desire. If I could have a fire truck, I think I'd paint it red. I'd wear a yellow jacket and a helmet on my head. I'd climb behind the wheel. I'd make the siren blow. I'd drive around the city and give them all a show. I'd park in front of school so the teachers all could see, and all the other kids in school would wish that they were me. The mayor would give me medals. I'd pin them on with pride. The president would ask me if I'd take him for a ride. If I could have a fire truck, I'd have my heart's desire, and everything would be just fine until there was a fire. Bad words. She actually said it. She said it in class. It sounded so nasty, it sounded so crass. The children stared, the teacher scowled, the custodian cried, the principal howled. Then poor little Patty, my very best friend, she opened her mouth, and she said it again. Bad words, bad words. We all began to chant, never, never, never say those words. I can't. Giant hearts. Psst, listen, little hamster, we have something to say to you. You may think we kids are giants, but you can be one too. Giants do not have to be real big. Giants do not have to be real tall. Tall. What makes someone a giant is not their size at all. And even when we giants get scared, we always do our best. We learn from our mistakes and forget about the rest. Life is like a play. We all play giant parts. And the biggest giants are the little players who play with giant hearts. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story.